Welcome to a sports betting podcast from pregame.com for the week of December 31st, 2009. I'm your host, RJ Bell. I'm joined by Marco D'Angelo, 30 years in the business, Vegas runner, genuine professional bettor here in Vegas, and CNBC star. This is segment 4 of 6, big game preview, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East title. Vegas runner, tell us about the line.
All right, not much movement at all. Dallas opened up as a 3-point home favorite with a total of 48.5 all across the board. As of today, Dallas is still 3 all across the board, but the totals dropped down to 47. So definite some money on the under, which I would assume is true steam based on the fact more over money should come in by the betting public.
All right, so let's think about that. Is no weather at Dallas. So usually when you see under action, it's a sign that it's true action because the wise guys know the public tends to bet over, so they'd be inclined to bet under late. The only time they're going to bet it early is when they think it's too good to pass up and they want to beat other wise guys to the number. So we can say some true steam on
Definitely,
the under.
Especially with the way these two teams score. You could expect, especially, and it's a Sunday night primetime game. They moved it to primetime, didn't they, this one, or no?
This is the Sunday night flex game, yep.
Okay.
All right, so when you look at this game as a handicapper, what jumps out at you?
Wait, I got back up. It's not the Sunday night
The
flex
Cincinnati
game.
game's the flex
Cincinnati
game.
game's the Sunday night
Correct.
flex game.
They moved this to the late game, though, the later game.
One thing about the total, you look at the first game in this meeting, I saw this total when it come out, and they're basing this total on recent scores of the teams right now. You go back when they played earlier in the season, they only scored
36 points.
Yeah, 20 to 16. It's a huge adjustment on the total. And I think that's why you're getting the wise guys jumping in.
So they saw the inflation and said it's too good to pass up. Now, when the wise guys do bet against the way the public is expected to bet early, you can oftentimes late on game day get the same number the wise guys played early because the public bets it right back up to where it was.
Yeah, and public money outweighs wise guy money when it comes to NFL, so the books will adjust based on that over money.
I mean, you could do quite well if all you did was look at the early move and have someone as good as VR interpret it for you, which you do for free at pregame.com, and then say, I'm only going to play the games that the line gets back to where the original wise guys bet it, only on games with legitimate true steam, as you call it.
Right.
And again, you're not going to get a lot of those. You're probably going to get a couple a week, though. And then really, in truth, you're playing the same games as the wise guys at the same number as the wise guys, and that means win. All right, so any leans here?
Bottom line here is this has been one of them series where it doesn't matter where the game's played. Last year, both home teams won. The year before, both road teams won. So it's one of them series instead that's been dictated by the dog getting the money. So it's been closely contested games.
No. The fact that there's a couple years when they only play twice a year in which seemingly the home field's not important, that's not enough of a sample to really say that, right? This is
no, especially with Dallas with a new stadium now with Dallas,
which you think is an advantage for Dallas.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So where's the leans at here?
My lean's to Dallas. I really do like Dallas here. I don't think they're getting enough respect. I mean, obviously, what can you put the line?
Should be 3.5?
No, I don't think you could move the line higher than 3. But I just think that you're not. Well, this is the kind of game where you're not going to get line value. The line is where it is.
And this is something
it comes down to, I think, a handicap.
Well, I mean, what a handicap is assess what the line's supposed to be.
Well,
right?
Fundamental. You got to look at approach this differently. You're not going to get any way you look at this. Any lines maker you talk to is going to make Dallas 3.
Is that the true line, or you make the distinction between a fair line and true line? Fair line splits the action. True line splits the result.
I myself think Dallas is 1 point better than the Eagles.
All right, so you're saying there's some value on the Cowboys.
Yeah,
here.
I do. I think there is.
Marco.
The line to me is where it should be.
Yeah.
First one. These are two teams. It's pick the winner. It was 3 in Philly. It's 3 here. It's the complete
That's
reversal.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's not pick the winner. It's who's the better team. You're getting 3 points with Philly.
You're getting 3 points
That's
with Philly.
key.
But with the home, I'm saying basically
the teams are even.
The teams are even. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're even up, and you're asking to pick the winner, getting the 3 points for the home field. What I find fascinating about this game is people are looking at Dallas and Philly, and the winner out of this game, all of a sudden they're talking like the winner from this game is the best team in the NFC now. The New Orleans, 2 losses in a row, and two poor efforts prior to that. People are, the stock's fallen on them. There's all kinds of problems in Minnesota. Who's left? I mean, it's funny. I mean, when Philadelphia went to Oakland and lost, people were crucifying them. And when Dallas
opened... What is this? You're making a good point here, but what does it mean to the batter?
To the batter here, to me, this is the toughest game on the board.
All right, so let's stop a second. Lines, we talked about this again in Today in Sports Betting, the daily podcast. I was on Monday. Most lines are right. Mm-hmm. The lines maker isn't dumb, and after the lines maker comes out, when the line is wrong, like look at the Florida line, maybe that was a little short at 10.5. It's bet up to 12.5. It's adjusted by the market. Most of the time, the line is right. Right now, what you guys are saying is that Philly and Dallas are about even teams. There's no extenuating circumstances. This line's about right. You think there might be slight value on Dallas. Laying the 110, though, there's no great edge here.
Even when you look at the future number, what they put for this game, they had Dallas 2.5. So, I mean, the line, I think the line wasn't difficult to make for this game. But I just believe that Dallas is the right side. I think the way they've been playing.
110?
Yeah, I think in the long run, I think it would be a profitable proposition here with Dallas. I don't like the way Philly's been playing lately.
Now you grew up in Philly.
Yeah.
You're connected back there.
Yes, and I do not like the way this team's been playing. Yeah, they've won 6 straight games, having to score a lot. And they were favored in all 6 of them games. So they were games they were supposed to win. There's no surprise in them winning 6 straight. Dallas, on the flip side, only 2 times in the last 9 games have they allowed more than 20 points scored on them. This defense is really stepping up. And I think they're going to pose a lot of problems from Philly, who can't run. I mean, without a running game this year, who do they have? LaShawn McCoy is their leading rusher with 500-something yards. McNabb can't do it on his own. And against this Dallas defense, I think they're going to have a lot of problems on Sunday.
How do you guys... Oh, go ahead, Mark.
The one thing that I'm going to point out with Philly, and you can look at it both ways, is this a plus or a minus? To me, I look at it as a minus, that they're winning with smoke and mirrors. In the last 6 games, the Philadelphia defense has had 15 takeaways. That's contributed to their winning streak.
Now, good handicap. No, some teams have a propensity to take away, but in general, turnovers against or turnovers of the opponent are pretty random, especially fumbles are random, right. Interceptions not so much. So when you gain a lot of turnovers, there's a good chance there's going to be a regression to the mean where your performance is going to seem better than it really is. So here's a guy who's an insider with Philly saying they're a little overrated, not playing as well as people think. You're backing it up with numbers, so maybe the lean is towards Dallas. Now, I rarely am going to back Dallas because they're such a public team.
Yeah.
But Philly's just as public for whatever reason. I think it's because of all the East Coast batting. So I don't see a lot of value on either side just because of the marqueeness. To kind of an inside joke we have with Dan Beebe is a phrase we made, how marquee a team is, the marqueeness is about equal in these teams. So maybe there is value. Now, certainly if the number comes off of 3, you're going to like, I mean,
you love Dallas. I love Dallas.
At 2.5.
At 3.5, I don't think I'd bet.
One closing comment. A lot of Week 17 or final week NFL games are going to be about motivation. And it's almost like a bowl game. How much do these teams want to play? How many starters are they going to play? For how long? Though that's not in bowl games. That's not the case. But in the last week in the NFL, it is. This is a game. The motivation is
not
clear.
Yeah.
Max motivation.
Last comment I want to throw at
10
you.
seconds.
Romo and McNabb. When was the last time one of these guys won a big game?
Someone's winning.
Someone's going to win one.
A big game.
All right. Good stuff. Next up is segment 5 of 6. We're going to do the Cincinnati Jets Sunday night game. And remember, you can get all of our videos at pregame.tv, or if you want to download and listen, just go to iTunes and search for pregame.com.